Prevention of chronic renal failure. My moderator is Dr. Samagasa. I'll be dealing with the introduction of chronic renal failure, pathophysiology of chronic renal failure, goals to slow down the progression of CRF, risk factors leading to CRF, and recommended kidney protective therapies. Introduction. Chronic renal failure refers to progressive and irreversible loss of renal function. KD encompasses a spectrum of pathophysiologic processes associated with abnormal kidney function and progressive decline in glomerular filtration rate. CKD is emerging in the 21st century as a global public health issue. Currently, more than 1 million patients with end-stage renal failure are on renal replacement therapy worldwide. The majority of these patients come from developed nations that can afford the cost of RRT, whereas a large number of those requiring treatment in developing countries do not have access to RRT. It is therefore important to shift the approach to CKD towards early detection and prevention. Within the next 10 years, it is estimated that the annual cost of end-stage renal failure management in the US will rise to about $30 billion US dollars. The OSDAT study was a population-based cross-sectional survey to determine the prevalence of diabetes mellitus, obesity, cardiovascular risk, and indicators of kidney disease in Australian adults. The study identified obesity, dyslipidemia, and smoking as significant risk factors for the subsequent development of albuminuria. It also identified proteinuria and obesity as major risk factors for the development of CKD. In India, the Chennai Community Screening Program screened around 25,000 individuals and found approximately 6% with previously undiagnosed hypertension and 4% with diabetes mellitus. Subsequently, the management of identified patients with hypertension and diabetes with readily available and cheap drugs achieved target values in majority of the patients. Coming to the pathophysiology of chronic renal failure, firstly, there will be an initiating mechanism specific to the underlying etiology. It could be either due to an abnormality in kidney development or integrity, due to immune complex deposition, as in certain types of glomerulonephritis, toxin exposure in certain diseases of renal tubules and interstitium. This further causes hyperfiltration and hypertrophy of the remaining viable nephrons. Due to the initiation mechanism, there will be a decrease in the nephron number, causing an adaptive hyperfiltration of the glomerulus, which causes increase in the glomerular permeability and causes activation of the RAS system. This further develops nephrotoxic inflammation, leading to tubulointerstitial fibrosis and secondary focal segmental glomerulosclerosis. This leads to a decrease in GFR, decreased urine output, and other systemic complications. The goals to slow down the progression of CKD are firstly to reduce the proteinuria as much as possible, ideally to less than 500 milligrams per day. To slow down the GFR decline as much as possible, ideally to about 1 ml per minute per year, which the rate of GFR decline attributed to aging. Risk factors leading to progression of CRS can be broadly classified into four: non-modifiable, modifiable, metabolic factors, and miscellaneous. Age, gender, race, and genetics are included under the non-modifiable. Under modifiable, proteinuria and hypertension is included. Metabolic factors include glycemia, lipids, obesity, hyperuricemia, and miscellaneous factors include smoking, alcohol, caffeine, and recreational drugs. Age. The incidence of renal disease is known to increase with age. The current median age of patients with end-stage renal disease is 54 years. The highest prevalence of patients with RRT being in the age group 55 to 74 years. Gender. End-stage renal disease is more common in males. Majority of the studies show a faster rate of decline of GFR in males. Race. End-stage renal disease linked to diabetes and hypertension is 3 to 6 times more prevalent in African Americans than Caucasians. Indo-Asian patients with diabetic nephropathy have a faster rate of decline of GFR compared to Caucasian Europeans. Coming to the modifiable factors, First, proteinuria. Proteinuria is an important prognostic factor in the progression of kidney disease. Heavy proteinuria is associated with faster rate of progression of CRF. Reduction of proteinuria by diet or ACE inhibition has predicted better outcomes in diabetic patients. Reducing the dietary protein intake to about 0.7 gram per kg ideal body weight per day slows GFR decline in those with proteinuria of more than 1 gram per day. Hypertension. There is transmission of systemic hypertension to the glomerular capillaries, leading to glomerular hypertension, which causes emaciation of glomerulosclerosis. Systemic hypertension causes kidney injury by mainly affecting the vasculature, glomerulus, tubules, and interstitium. In the vasculature, it causes endothelial dysfunction and endothelial cell damage. In glomerulus, causes glomerular hypertension and glomerular cell hypertrophy. It also leads to tubular cell injury and other oxidative stress, which progresses to kidney disease, which can further cause arteriolar sclerosis, glomerulosclerosis, tubular atrophy, and interstitial fibrosis, leading to end-stage renal disease. The rate of progression of CRM was twice as fast in patients with diastolic blood pressure above 90 mmHg. Studies have suggested different blood pressure targets depending on the stage of kidney disease. In the general population with normal kidney function and low proteinuria, the target blood pressure to be achieved is 140 by 90 mmHg. In CKD stage 1 to 4 with proteinuria less than 1 gram per day, less than 135 by 85 mmHg is the target BP. In CKD stages 1 to 4 with proteinuria greater than 1 gram per day, a target BP of less than 125 by 75 mmHg has to be achieved. Treatment options for management of hypertension and CKD. ACE inhibitors. It is reported to be advantageous compared to any other antihypertensive. It is the first line therapy in all CKD patients with low level proteinuria. ARB therapy. ARBs are protective in the nephropathy of type 2 diabetes and probably in other nephropathies. In CKD, ARBs may raise the serum potassium level lesser than ACE inhibitors. To achieve a target BP of less than 140 by 90, treatment can be initiated with ACE inhibitors. If the target BP is not achieved, ACE inhibitors can be started at a higher dose or other diuretics can be added. To achieve a BP less than 135 by 85 with proteinuria, if proteinuria is greater than 1 gram per day, angiotensin receptor blockers, non-dihydropyridine calcium channel blockers, or alpha blockers can be added. Coming to metabolic factors, lipids. A number of studies have shown that patients with non-diabetic nephropathy and elevated plasma cholesterol and triglycerides have a faster rate of progression of chronic renal failure. Manipulation of dietary lipids and supplementation with fish oil have received particular attention. Meta-analysis of 12 lipid-lowering interventions, including 362 patients, has shown a protective effect on the rate of progression of chronic renal failure. The target total cholesterol should be less than 200 milligram per deciliter, and LDL cholesterol should be less than 120 milligram per deciliter. Lipid-lowering agents such as HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors are preferred. Apart from their lipid-lowering effects, statins also have other actions that may delay the progression of chronic renal failure. Statins downregulate the TGF-beta expression, interfere with intracellular signaling pathways, and prevent the activation of nuclear factors. Statins also possess antioxidant activity and some antihypertensive effect. Glycemia. The target HbA1c to be achieved is less than 8%. While there is little doubt that poor glycemic control is a major factor in the initiation of CRF, the evidence for the role of hyperglycemia in the progression of diabetic nephropathy is conflicting. The kidney plays an important role in insulin resistance and gluconeogenesis. While renal failure progressed, insulin clearance is markedly reduced and the patient with CKD becomes sensitive to hypoglycemia. Reduced drug clearance and a greater risk of hypoglycemia with used medications will further complicate the management of hypoglycemia in patients with CKD. Because a safer and more effective pharmacological therapy is available, an individual approach to diabetes mellitus in CKD patients is essential. Obesity, excessive body weight and raised body mass index have been linked to faster rate of progression of CRF in patients with IgA nephropathy. Hypertension-free survival rate also shortened in overweight patients compared to those with normal weight. Hyperuricemia. Hyperuricemia may cause hypertension and renal injury through crystal-independent pathways. Coming to miscellaneous factors, smoking. Cigarette smoking causes an increase in systemic blood pressure and affect the renal hemodynamics. There is evidence that smoking is associated with a faster decline in CRS. Alcohol. Some evidence links heavy alcohol consumption to progressive renal insufficiency through the hypertensive effect of alcohol. The association between alcohol consumption and hypertension is stronger in males compared to females. Caffeine. Experimental data suggests that coffee drinking causes an elevation in blood pressure, increases proteinuria, and causes severe tubulointerstitial scarring. Recreational drug use. The use of heroin and cocaine has been found to be associated with increased risk of development of end-stage renal disease. Cocaine use may exacerbate hypertensive nephrosclerosis through progression of renal ischemia. The recommended kidney protective therapies according to the level of recommendation. According to level 1 recommendation, first control of blood pressure, AC inhibitor therapy, ARB therapy, combination AC inhibitors and ARB therapy, renin inhibitor therapy, dihydropyridine calcium channel blockers are avoided unless for BP control and control of protein intake. Level 2 recommendations suggest restriction of salt intake or diuretic therapy, control of fluid intake, non-dihydropyridine calcium channel blocker therapy, control each component of metabolic syndrome, aldosterone antagonist therapy, beta blocker therapy, and smoking cessation. Take home message. Frequent follow-up is required with particular attention to the detection, monitoring, and treatment of hypertension. Advise patients with progressive CRF to avoid a high-protein diet. Recommended protein intake is less than 0.7 gram per kg per day. Advisable to take salt-restricted diet, no added salt, approximately 4 to 6 gram sodium chloride per day. Patients should restrict their intake of saturated fats. Control of hypercholesterolemia with statins is indicated. Hypertensive patients with CRF should restrict their alcohol consumption to less than 2 drinks per day. Patients with CRF should stop cigarette smoking. Potential nephrotoxins should be avoided, including non-steroidal anti-inflammatory agents, nephrotoxic antibiotics, and IV radiographic contrast. Here are the references. Coming to the MCQs, what is the current median age of patients with end-stage renal disease? The answer is B, 54 years. What is the recommended protein restriction in patients with chronic renal failure? Answer is D, less than 0.7 gram per kg per body weight per day. What is the target HbA1c in diabetic patients with CRF? Answer is option C, less than 0.7%. Which of these is not the effect of statins on the kidney? Answer is C. Statins increases the renal transplant survival. Which is the first line of antihypertensive in patients with CRF? Answer is C. ACE inhibitors. Thank you.